my name is Rebecca and welcome to my channel. If you are a new subscriber, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you're an OG, thank you for sticking around with me. I really appreciate and love each and every one of you. That being said, I love to DIY and I love to craft, and I like to do it for my work home and for my home on a budget. And the price of things are really going up, and it is just outrageous. So when I come up with, have you been to the grocery store? Come on. So when I come up with a solution to a problem that I'm having, I like to pass it along to you because I'm very thrifty and I just love to save money, but I like for things to look nice. So come DIY with me. These ceilings have been a source of contention with me since, I don't know, years. It is not popcorn. It is some strange kind of highly textured knockdown that does not ever come off. You can't scrape it like you would normal popcorn. If you touch it, it will not fall down on you. So my solution was to go on Temu and find some foam ceiling tile. Now, Amazon carries these tiles, but for a lot more money. I purchased these. The most I paid for the boxes were $3.28 for 10 tiles. They were 12 by 12 tiles. They have an adhesive, self-adhesive back, and they are actually quite beautiful. My concern was that they would not adhere over the rough texture of my ceiling. But I absolutely hated the popcorn look, and so I thought that I would just give it a whirl and see where it would go. When you first put them on, they kind of take on the texture of the ceiling, but eventually, with time, they will smooth out and they turn out absolutely beautiful. I purchased some caulk at the Dollar Tree, and I will tell you, I started out with about 4 rows, and I let them sit for 2 weeks just to make sure that it would work, because I was concerned that the description said that it needed to be over a smooth surface. So I was a little concerned about that. So I didn't want to put in a lot of work and then just have everything fall down on top of my head. Very simply, you peel the backing off. Some of my tiles came with kind of a tinfoil little cover over the self-adhesive part, and then some was kind of just like paper, but they peeled off so very easy. I just started at one corner, and then I started peeling the protective coating off the back, and it came out very easily. But I will have to say that you are going to have sticky hands when you're finished, because the glue does get on your fingers and you do have a little bit of residue. So I did wash my hands quite a bit. So after I put the first 4 rows on, I let them sit for 2 weeks and nothing fell on my head. So I was ready to finish the living room. My living room does not have an overhead light, so I would suggest that if you have an overhead light, that you would start with the light fixture and work your way out. But since this did not have an overhead light, then I just started at one corner and then I started putting my tiles in. I did smooth it out with my hands. Once I had the tiles in place, I kind of went over it with a paint roller, a foam paint roller. Like, I purchased a small paint pack at the Dollar Tree, and I had a little foam roller in that I was using for crafting. And so I just took that little foam roller and went over the tiles after I had placed about 3 or 4 rows. I just lined them up against each other, and nothing in an older house is square. So the beauty of these tiles is that you can compensate for maybe something not being as square as what you need for it to be. So you can cut these. They cut with either scissors or with a craft knife or a utility knife very easily, and you can make it appear as if everything is nice and square, whether it is or not. You're going to have to forgive the lighting. I have two very large windows, and the sun was coming up, and it would be so nice and bright and sunny, and then it would just go behind a cloud. And so I have questionable lighting on a good day in this room. However, Mother Nature was just kind of playing with me this particular day. But I simply put everything together. If you don't have your tiles exactly where you want them, there is some forgiveness. It's not going to just immediately be a fiasco. You can reposition your tiles as you need for it to. Some of them went up absolutely perfect, and then some of them was just like, yep, nope, not going to do that. And whatever you want me to do, it's just not going to happen. So some of them were a little bit of a struggle. I guess when you're dealing with something that is sticky, there are going to be times when you're going to have a little bit difficult of a situation. These tiles went up so easily and so fast. I was able to accomplish this room in one day. And I started probably at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I finished up about 5:30. This particular living room is 300 square feet. So the cost at $3.28 per 10 tiles was unbelievably inexpensive. And if I had paid someone to come in and do the scraping or retexture, and oh, that dust, I'm telling you, I just couldn't deal with the thought of that dust that for the retexturing. But it is so much more cost effective to install these tiles than it is to pay someone or even do the work yourself. You're still going to be out a lot of time, extra time and money. So this was a perfect solution. When I got to the end, I kind of pushed it up against the wall and made my crease where I needed it to be. And then I just kind of took the backing off because you don't want it to stick to your wall. And then I just took my craft knife and I cut along that edge. Since I was dealing with a ceiling that was textured, none of my cuts were absolutely perfectly straight. But I got it as straight as I could and right into that indentation where the ceiling meets the wall. And I just ran my craft knife down that to make the seam, and it pulled away very easily. Now, I'm not going to lie about any of this. My shoulders and my neck were wrecked, and they were so sore the next day. But I just felt like it was absolutely worth it. And considering what it would entail to do something different, I was willing to put some Bengay on my shoulders and my neck and just go with it. I wanted a really nice finished look. I was actually going for kind of a library traditional type wood paneled ceiling look, and those were the tiles that I had picked out. And then I just took my caulk gun and I just ran a bead of caulk in between my tile and the seam in the wall. I did caulk some of the tiles and around my registers, which mine are in the ceiling, but I did caulk around that so that it would look nice and finished and smooth, just like a wood paneled ceiling would look. And then I just smoothed the caulk out. I did it with my fingers, but if you have a nice little smoothing tool, then you could use that. This is also why your cuts do not have to necessarily be perfectly square and perfectly even, because a little bit of caulk, it covers a multitude of sins. Also, I'm going to give Dollar Tree's caulk a shout out, the Tool Bench brand. I'm telling you, I have bought caulk at the big box stores and other stores, and it seems like I have just gone 2 or 3 passes, down a baseboard or something, and I have been out. But this did my entire living room, which I've mentioned before is 300 square feet, and I had enough left over that I was able to do the hall. So it just seems to last forever. It does not yellow and it stays perfectly white. I think that Dollar Tree will be where I buy my all-purpose caulk from now on, because I was incredibly impressed with their Tool Bench brand of caulk. And compared to what other stores are charging for a tube, I'm telling you, you just can't beat $1.25. So whenever I see caulk at the Dollar Tree, then I snag it, and I usually keep a couple of tubes on hand because it is really good to work with. So this is what my ceiling looks like, completely done after a couple of days, and everything is starting to smooth out, and I absolutely love the look of it, and I think that it turned out so absolutely beautiful and very cost effective. This was a perfect fit for covering up the popcorn. I love walking into this room in the morning, and the sunlight bounces off against those beautiful white tiles, and it seems like it makes the room lighter and brighter and softer and just a little bit more beautiful. There is my little green friend in the corner, and he sits behind the door so he can greet everyone as they come in. But this is absolutely gorgeous. I love it, and I love the fact that it just didn't break the bank to give me a brand new look. This solution worked so well, and I actually filmed this in February, and then I wanted to make sure that it was going to work and be successful in the long term before I pass this along to you. So don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell so that you know when I've uploaded my next video. Thank you so much for watching Crafts, Laughs, and Chaos, and you have a great week.